Imagine walking into an ancient temple, its walls covered in symbols and sacred geometry. To the modern eye, they may seem like mystical decorations, but to those who created them, they were precise blueprints for the universe, hidden formulas encoded in story and symbol. The ancients didn't separate science and spirituality. They saw them as one, and their myths weren't just tales to entertain. They were physics lessons, wrapped in metaphor, much like the story problems we had to solve in elementary school. But instead of apples and trains, their equations were told through gods, elements, and cosmic forces. When I first started working with my personal energy, I had a realization. Many of the spiritual stories I had heard growing up or read about in the various texts weren't just abstract ideas. They were describing what it felt like when energy moved in a certain way or when a particular event occurred. It was almost as if those ancient stories were written to convey the sensation of spiritual energy in motion. That moment when your chakras align, or when the current of the energy flows from one center to another. It was as if the ancients were describing my own experiences with energy. So take the concept of energy flow, the balance of forces. Modern physics tells us that for energy to move, it requires a negative and a positive charge. The ancients expressed this same principle through the divine masculine and divine feminine. The divine masculine was the essence of Father Sky, was symbolized by water and its many other forms like rain, snow, or mist, falling from above, nourishing life below. It was associated with clarity, intellect, and structure, and represented by the colors white, iridescent, or clear. Meanwhile, the divine feminine was the essence of Mother Earth and was symbolized by fire and other elements like lava, hot springs, and the molten core of the planet itself. It was chaotic, creative, and deeply transformative. Its colors were both red and black. These weren't just poetic metaphors. They were aligned perfectly with the positive and negative charges required for the physical world to function. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What we now call the bioelectrical field, which is produced by the human body, was already understood in ancient times through the concept of auras, the chakras, the currents of yin and yang, and even the way that the energy flows through the meridians. All of these were precursors to what we now know about electricity and magnetism. So, were the ancients more spiritually advanced than us? Or have we simply forgotten how to read their language? They encoded the secrets of physics, neurology, and psychology into myths, rituals, and sacred symbols, not because they were primitive, but because they understood that the human mind learns best through story. Now think about it. How would you explain something as invisible as an electromagnetic field, or the way that the energy moves through the body? You tell a story. You show how the divine masculine and feminine dance together, like fire and water, creating everything we see and experience. And now, as science begins to confirm what the mystics have known for millennia, we have a choice. Dismiss the past as superstition, or decode the ancient wisdom that has been hiding in plain sight all along. So which side do you stand on? Let me know in the comments. Do you think the ancients were more spiritually advanced than us? Or are we just beginning to rediscover what they always knew? So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to grab my book, The Basics of Mysticism, available now on Amazon. But also keep an eye out for my new book, Navigating the Chakras. It's coming in September of 2025.